is back into it in Chester. Here's El Senior. Yes!
The center back, Jacob Glesnes,
He's going for it.
Oh my God! What a goal!
And that will do it. One of the best comebacks in recent years. 3 unanswered by the Union. And they go into the Gold Cup break, winning it 3-2.
Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd. I hope you guys are doing well, making the most of this unprecedented summer that we are having. Unfortunately, you know, this time of the year we'd all be at Subaru Park, and we call it Talent Energy, watching the boys in blue, but you know, we're just making the most of the situation and everything, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the mini-series for the podcast, Philadelphia Union Quiz Tournament Trivia, whatever you guys want to call it. As you guys know, Michael came away with a narrow victory, so the episode's been out for a while now and everything, so I can say that and everything. If not, definitely go out and check out the episodes and everything. Maybe you'll learn a new thing or two about the Union that you didn't know before and everything. I had a blast doing that quiz tournament, trivia, whatever you want to call it and everything. But I'm super excited to have on today's guest as he's making his debut on the podcast. This is a guy that I've gotten to know over the last 6 months, I'd say, whether that's playing FIFA Pro Clubs together, talking about his European soccer adventures before the pandemic, or most recently through the Union Happy Hour that he created. I'd like to welcome on to the show one of the creators, like I said, of the Union Zoom Happy Hour, Mr. Jarrett Nisly. How are you doing today, Jarrett?
Doing quite well, Todd. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Super excited to have you on and everything. I know I said 2 episodes ago with Adam and everything, you know, Jarrett's always like, oh, when are you going to have me on? Adam's like, we're going to have you on. Well, look, I got you before Sons of Ben. So now I've got to be your favorite podcast, Jarrett.
Yes. For now, you are my favorite podcast.
Thank you so much. I'll take it any way I get it, you know. And once Adam or Matt hit you up and say, hey, Jarrett, come on the podcast now, then Sons of Ben's going to be your favorite. But for now, I'll take the compliment. So thank you, Jarrett. But I mean,
absolutely.
Like I said, I mean, you created Zoom Happy Hour. We'll hit on that a little bit later and everything. But if people don't know who you are, can you go ahead and tell everybody how you became a fan of the Philadelphia Union? That's what I ask all new people that got on to the podcast.
Yeah, so I say I'm a day one supporter, and I say that, like, I need to give a little explanation for that. Like, so obviously, like, the SOB was created before the team, so I call those people who started SOB day 0 supporters. So I'm day 1. As soon as the team was announced, I was on board. So that's basically how I came into play. You know, for the longest time, there wasn't a team in the area. So once there was a team, I was like, this is who I support now, which I feel like is the case for a lot of people. But yeah, over the years, I've gotten more involved. I started going to games. It took a while for me to start going to games just because I live a little further away. Like you, I live a little further away than most people. But yeah, started sitting in the Sons of Ben, I would say, when I was in college, when I was home from college, that is. And as I was sitting there, started to get more involved. This would have been my second full year as a season ticket holder, and after last year I became a Capo, so I missed out on my first opportunity to be a full-on Capo, but definitely excited to get back in there whenever we can.
So exactly what I was going to say next is, in case you guys didn't know who Jarrett is, don't know who he is, like you said, you're a Capo and everything, so how did you get involved with the Sons of Ben? How'd that come about?
So the earliest thing that I remember is I would used to park in lot C, I believe it is, one of the furthest lots away. And like, I remember, like, I would park there. Like, I would always just go by myself. I didn't know anybody. And like, I'd always hear like this music coming from like one lot over. This was like where the old Sons of Ben lot used to be. So one day I just kind of like walked up there and just figured I'd see what was going on. And then the first person I happened to talk to was Bill Gussler, who was the president at the time, before he moved to Florida and is now back. Anyway, but I was just like, hey man, like, is it cool if I just like hang out? Like, I'm not like a member or anything. He's like, yeah, it's totally fine. So like, I talked to him for a little bit. So that's how I kind of like first became involved. Once they moved to lot B, I think it is now. I don't know. I don't really know what lot it is, but I started going there more often, like buying tailgate tickets, started getting to know people. I believe the first person that I started like talking to Capoing about was with Miggs, Robert Migliano. I know someone he's related to. So like, he's the first one who like got me in the stand, and like through that, like I started to get to know Adam, Matt, Jess. I just happened to get to know like all the right people who could like get me in there So yeah, that's pretty much how I got involved. And I was capoing at the Red Bull game. And while I was like half like dehydrated from all the smoke that I was inhaling, Jess was like, "Hey, next year you want to be a capo?" I was like, "Absolutely." So that's pretty much how I got involved. And I've just been like getting more involved ever since, trying to get creative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've never heard that story, so I was hoping that you would tell me that before, so now I haven't. And like I said, if you guys don't know who Jared is, now you guys have that story. But what Jared was saying, so Lot C is the farthest away, but after Lot C, so Lot C is closest to Highland Avenue, if you're familiar, if you've ever been to the stadium and everything. It's about a 10-minute walk from the stadium, I'd say, and everything. And the Sons of Ben tailgating lot was after Lot C, I believe it was, before they moved it into Lot B and everything, on gravel and everything. Now they have their own sheds and everything. So it's a lot closer. It's right across from the training grounds and everything. And it's a lot closer than the walk you had to make and everything. And I, like you, this is going to be a first full season going on board being a capo. I'm a little bit disappointed too. This is my first full season being a season ticket member and everything, meeting all you guys in person. I mean, I've met you guys numerous times, whether it's to the podcast or the Zoom meetings and everything. So I'm like, okay, I know what your faces look like, but I've never seen you guys face to face, never had a conversation and everything. So I was really looking forward to just meeting everybody that I've had on the podcast or talked to in the Zoom happy hours and everything. Will it happen this year? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But regardless, I got connected with you guys, and it's been a blast, talking to whether you're a Sons of Ben member or not and everything. I mean, Union fans have been a tremendous group of people, and I know Philadelphia fans get a lot of stick and everything, the Philadelphia, but honestly, I don't think I've met a more welcoming group of sports fans than Sons of Ben and everything. And I've said this story all the time and everything with going to the first game. I sat in 117, which is across from the river end and everything. When after like 3 games or 4 games, I decided to sit in the river end. Adam came up and I was like, oh, wow, this is really nice. He's going around shaking the hands of every single person and everything. And that goes a long way and everything. And I was like, yeah, this is not the Philadelphia that people described it to be and everything. So I was looking forward, like I said, to being a full season ticket member and just meeting all you guys. But, still staying connected, whether it's through podcasting, playing FIFA, or whether it's, like I said, again, for the 1000th time, the Zoom happy hours and everything.
It's been a very inclusive group. Been really great. It's been great getting to know Adam and Matt. I haven't had too many face-to-face conversations with them at this point, just because how everything went down. But I've been able to build a really good relationship with them. And most of the SOB board is great to see. And it's how we're starting to welcome in other people. Even, I'm sure we'll get to this, but even in the Zoom chat, how it's branching out into more than just our group.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love. It's not, come to the tailgate and everything, you can only be a Sons of Ben member. I mean, they're welcome everybody, and I've not taken that up yet and everything, but I've always thought that, walking by the stadium and everything, I was last year, I was like, I guess you only have to be a Sons of Ben member to get in there and everything, and everybody's like, nope, you do not. Just come on in. You don't even need to get a ticket. That just means you won't be able to get food and drinks and everything, but you can come in and socialize, and I was looking forward to that, but, COVID and everything, so I'm not going to just keep beating that dead horse. But you told me the story before, but for people who don't know you, Jared, like I said, I think it would be interesting hearing your experience during the playoff win against the Pink Cows, if you want to tell that story.
Oh, man. So I have never been more nervous for a game in my life. It was a crappy day to begin with. It was just rainy. And I was just like, man, I really wish it could, if the game had been one day earlier on Saturday, it would have just been absolutely gorgeous, perfect soccer weather. And then we come one day and I was like, of course, first home playoff game. And it's just in years, and it's just raining. It's miserable. We're playing against our rivals. It's not super warm out. So I was just like, man. But I just remember setting up shop in the Capo stand, and I was like, all right, let's get this crowd going. Let's get into it early, loud, lots of Pink Cow supporters there. And I was just I just didn't know what to expect. And the second that first goal went in for the Dead Bulls, I just felt my heart drop, and I just felt the entire energy just gets sucked out of that building. And I was like, great, here we go again. I'm supposed to be working today. I took an unpaid day off to come here, and this is what we're going to go through. But yeah, so I was like, all right, let's try and get it back going. Second goal goes in. I'm just it's all right, is this gonna be this kind of day? Bedoya is able to bring it back, and so we're you can feel the energy come back in a little bit, and then right before halftime, dies. I'm just like, I can just remember just standing there and just being like, all this, like this whole season, and this is how it like comes to fruition. But luckily, like the team didn't give up. Surprisingly, like the fans didn't give up. Like there were a couple quiet moments, especially coming out of halftime. Like it took a lot for people to get back into it. The second that our second goal went in, and honestly, it was Elliott who scored that one, right?
It was.
The second Elliott scored that goal, like it just felt like belief, just came back into the building, and everyone just believed. And then obviously like Fabian scores that cross, whatever you want to call it, and like it just becomes absolute mayhem. Like I'm pretty sure by the third goal, like, my voice was gone, but I was still just going nuts. And one thing, I think I talked about this somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but I almost missed a good portion of the first half of overtime. So I set off the first smoke bomb for when we scored, and I'm on the yellow side. And if you don't know how yellow smoke is made, it's with sulfur. And I would tell you, sulfur's not good for the lungs. So I and this has happened before, but like it just like it doesn't affect everyone, but it made me sick. And so like the second that final whistle blew at regular time, I tore out of the Capo stand and immediately just started throwing up in a trash can. Like it was bad. Like it wasn't even alcohol related. Like it was literally just the smoke. And I remember I believe it was Bross who like came over and was like helping me out. Meanwhile, the game is starting. Like I can hear the crowd going nuts. Although I didn't miss Seven Nation Army. I was there for Seven Nation Army, which was brilliant. That was such a brilliant call on Carl's part. But yeah, so like I can remember like I was like in the trash can and I could hear that there were near misses happening, and I was like panicking. It all worked out. I got back in, but at that point I couldn't scream, I couldn't jump, I couldn't chant, I couldn't do anything, because if I'm jumping around, like my stomach immediately gets upset, like I get a pounding headache. It was not good for me. So I'm literally standing like right next to the Capo stand, like where you would go up the steps in 137, just trying to stay away from the smoke, away from the craziness, and trying to just like take the game in. And when Marco, I said my goals wrong. Marco didn't score the tying goal.
It was Fafa.
Yeah. Like I said, that day's kind of like a mess for me. But when Marco scored that goal, I surprisingly didn't even celebrate. I was just in such shock at what I had witnessed. I literally turned and walked down the tunnel and just started crying. Like I was so overcome with emotion. And I remember like walking back down the tunnel, and the security guard, the usher was right there, and I just grabbed him and I just hugged him and just cried in his arms. So it was a very weird moment because I don't normally cry in strangers' arms. It was like it was such a good moment, and like yeah, like it would have been great to just like jump in the Capo stand and just like celebrate like everybody else, but like it was just like a moment of relief that, you know, just like after like such a crappy game, like we finally were able to get in front and like solidify. I mean, we didn't know at the time, but like solidify ourselves in this league and be like, you know what, like we're here and like we can get the wins that we need to. And yeah, so it was a very cool moment. And I actually have a picture signed by Fafa of the moment when the goal was scored. And like I'm barely in the picture, and you can literally this is a audio podcast, so you can't see my hands, but I'm literally just like my head is in my hands. Like I'm just in shock. But yeah, and like the game continues, and like I keep trying to cheer, and it keeps just going south, and like legit, like my head's pounding. Like I threw up on the road. Like I had to pull over to the side of the road and throw up again, like after the game, because like it was affecting me so much. But I just remember like at the end of the game, like Jess is standing right beside me, and like our arms around each other, and we're just jumping and crying. And like when that final whistle blows, we just embrace each other. And it was such a good moment. And I remember like after the game, like not wanting to leave the stands, because I was just like, this was like such a huge moment in our club's history. And to be able to be there and witness it and be part of it is just like, it meant so much to me. Because like, I mean, like I was like kind of said this, but like as the years have gone on, this club has become more and more important to me. And while I follow, I think it's 7, but 6 clubs in Europe, like on top of the Union, like the Union is my team. Like I'm so passionate about all the other 19 different teams across all sports that I follow. But like the Union, they're my boys. It's my home team.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I've said it multiple times on the podcast in the past before. Like, you don't get this at any sporting event where the players come up, they shake your hand, sign stuff, and whatever. Like, it feels like you have a personal relationship with them, and that's what I love about the team. Like, they don't feel like they're bigger than you. I mean, you look at players in the NFL and everything getting paid millions of dollars. Yeah, I don't have time for you. Even though we pay your salary and everything by going to these games, whether it's buying concessions, whether it's buying jerseys, whether it's paying for tickets. But that's not the point. I digress, and I'm with you, man. This is my team. I know we both support Manchester United, and I just don't get that feeling watching Manchester United that I do with watching the Philadelphia Union. And that's an awesome story. And like you said earlier, this is an audio podcast, not a visual, so they couldn't see. But you could post that picture online and everything. But again, you said you're barely in that picture and everything. So somebody that tries to look for you, if you upload that picture, they'll probably have a hard time too. But the one thing I was going to say is just like, yeah, that game, once they scored like the 2 goals and everything, it's like, man, it's pouring down rain and everything. My feet were soaked. I'm sure everybody else's were too. And I'm like, all I was thinking about is, yeah, this game sucks. We're just going to get pounded. I'm soaked and I hate it. I just want to get back to the car. Let's just go home. And this is miserable. But then by the time, the Union scored up and everything, you're not even thinking about being soaked and everything. You're like, nope, let's just keep on going. And then, like you said, once that final whistle blew, I was like, everybody else can leave. I'm just going to stand right here in my seat and everything and just applaud every player that comes by and everything, just in disbelief what I just saw from an hour and a half ago when this team was just going through so much crap and everything, and then they come back and pull it away. But like we've been talking about, Jared, mentioning it, the Union Zoom happy hour, I've said it like 10 times, 20 times maybe now. So you're one of the creators, like I said in your introduction. How did this idea come about?
So, I'll start by saying this, like, I've become the face of it, but there's a lot of people working behind the scenes. So definitely big shout out to Heather, Morgan, and Justin, who have been helping to push this along. Heather is our travel director, and she has been very helpful, like pulling in guests, helping spread the word. Morgan, who is legit the MVP of our calls. Anytime you see a Union player or the Cooligans, it's because she brought him there. And then Justin, he's just another fan, but he's been very like big and pushing this and like supporting it, like reminding people that it's happening. But yes, and also like Matt and Adam have been big in plugging it on their podcast as well. So this all started in, like, I would say like towards the end of March. It didn't even start off as a Zoom call, but there was a group of 6 of us. So it was producer Devin, Morgan, Ryan, Crystal, I forget, myself, and there was one other person. I'm sorry to whoever that was. I completely blanked on who it was. But so I tweeted out one night while I was at work. I was like, hey, so we all need a laugh right now. Who wants to play some Jackbox this weekend? Which, for those of you who don't know, Jackbox is a game that can be played on a game console or Steam, on PC. And you basically, like, the game is played on your laptop, or is viewed on a laptop or TV where you're playing it, and then you access the actual game on your phone. So there's a bunch of different games that you can play. But so I had like 5 people respond to me like, yeah, let's do it this weekend, or let's do it tonight. And I was like, oh no, I didn't mean tonight. And it ended up actually being that night because I got off work early. Yeah, so like we all made a Discord channel, and we all like video or like audio chatted on there. And then I streamed the game to Twitch where they all viewed it. And then we all played together on our phones. That wasn't the best way to do it. I could have just done a screen share on Discord, but hey, you live and you learn. So that's the root of Union Happy Hour. That's how it all began. And then Heather was the one who initially moved it to Zoom. It was a very small call. I don't think, were you on the first Zoom call, Todd?
I was. Yeah,
that's right, you were. It was just something she set up. It wasn't like anything we have now. We just kind of like hung out and chatted. And we actually got Zoom bombed because Heather, someone wanted the link. And so Heather posted it publicly on Twitter. And so the Reddit bots got a hold of it, and then chaos ensued. So that was a thing. Ezra, a fan from Florida, I believe he's Tallahassee Union, on Twitter. He lended his Zoom account that he has through through Florida State University, and that's how we were able to have like a pro account, and we could have up to 100 guests. We could have longer than 45 minutes or 40 minutes of talk time. But then it kind of got to the point, like, since we were having like bigger guests on, that we had to we're like, maybe we shouldn't be using like that kind of account that's associated with a large university. So at one point, like, I remember I was at work, Heather was like, unfortunately, like, the happy hour Zoom calls are canceled. Like, they will not happen anymore. And like, I remember getting that tweet and I was like, no. And I was like, that's not happening. Like, we can't have that. And like, I remember like panic tweeting at work, and I was like, please, like, does anybody have like a Zoom account, a Zoom Pro account that we can use? Like, I'm begging you. And I think like 5 minutes after that, I was like, no one's going to do that. Like, no one's just going to be like, yeah, here, use my Zoom account. So I messaged Heather. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting Zoom Pro. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not letting this die. So that's kind of how I became the face of Happy Hour, because I hold the account for it. And then from there, like I told you earlier, like I can talk and talk. So, but so from there, like, Heather and I have been like the ones who have been like distributing the Zoom links. And so it's all very confusing, like, to know like who had a link and who didn't. So then that's when I created the Happy Hour Twitter account, and it's blown up. I think I now have like 250 followers on that account, which is crazy, and it has now surpassed my main account. So cheers, guys. But it's fine. Like, I don't need like all the followers. But yeah, it's been crazy to see how people have just like rallied behind this idea. And just gotten behind it. And like, we have people from all over the world now. We have a regular from Japan. We have a regular from, well, you're in Maryland, you usually join on. We have someone from South Carolina. You know, we've had guests like the Cooligans join from New York. We've had Alexi Lalas join us from LA. We've had an Atlanta fan join us from South Carolina. Like, people from all over are joining the calls, and it's just wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's so wild to me, too. Like you said, I mean, the soccer Cooligans join, Alexi Lalas, Jonathan Tannenwald, who's a reporter in Philadelphia, joins every week. Jimmy Conrad joined 2 weeks ago. Casper, Kai, Ali, Mark McKenzie, Warren, ex-Bethlehem Steel captain, James Chambers joined at one point. So, I mean, how in the world did you... Yeah, Aronson, yep, that is right. I mean, there's so many people that I'm leaving out. I think Fred joined, too, at one point, but...
I have a list. You can't see them, I have a whole list.
How in the world did you guys get these people to agree to come and join and everything? I mean, the thing I like about it is when all these guys join and everything, most of them are staying there for at least an hour and everything. Like, they're really down to earth guys. Like, when I saw that, Alexi Lalas is coming on, like, he's just going to stop by and say hello, be here for 10 minutes. But this guy stayed here for like an hour and 5 minutes, something like that. I was like, holy crap. Like, I can't believe Alexi Lalas, like, is holding up a conversation with us. And like, they're really genuine guys. Like, they care. They weren't blowing us up and everything. And they're like, yeah, good, ask us anything. And you know, the one thing is what said in Union Zoom at Happy Hour, it stays there and everything, which I love and everything. And I think I saw last week or whatever, people were actually talking about the Zoom Happy Hour on the r/Philly Union subreddit, and people,
really,
and people were like, Is there audio recordings for this? And someone is like, nah, they what stays there just stays there. Nobody records and everything, which is the way it should be and everything. So I mean, like I said, how'd you guys get these people to agree to join you guys?
Honestly, like, I think it helps that like we are in a lockdown and people literally have nothing better to do. Like, I think our longest staying guests, that's not a phrase that makes sense, but you know what I mean, have been Alexi Lalas, Fafa Picol, and Jimmy Conrad. Like, I mean, Fafa was legit on for like an hour and a half, just like hanging out. We saw him like getting some shoes from a Puma store. We saw, like, we heard him ordering his supper. We saw him driving. Like, same with Alexi, he was just like hanging out with us. But honestly, like, I think it's like, again, it's shout out to Heather and Morgan, like, because they have like such great connections with people. Like, I mean, Heather's our travel director, so she like obviously that's in her like bio, so like people see that, they know that she's legit. Morgan is a photographer with links to the Cooligans, links to the players, so like that's pretty much been like how we've been getting them, is like through personal connections. Like, I'm not trying to out these people for having like connections like with them. Don't go harassing them to like pull them in like this. They're putting their name at risk by pulling them in. So I appreciate you guys for that. People have just been like reaching out. Now, Alexi, that one probably has to be the most wild because, well, and Jimmy Conrad, because it wasn't like it wasn't like a direct message that was sent to them being like, hey, we're doing this, or it wasn't like a text message. Like it was literally like Heather tweeted at Alexi Lalas and was like, hey, like we're doing this, blah, 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 like DM me if you want to join. And I retweeted it. Was like, yeah, man, like come along. So he actually responded to that one. So like I am like the one who visually got the credit for it. And when I say me, I mean the happy hour account. But Heather was the one who did the original tweet. So I give her all the credit for bringing in Alexi Lalas. But yeah, honestly, it's just luck on some of them. Like especially like with Alexi, who just happened to see the tweet and was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna take a chance on this situation. Like, I don't personally know any of these people. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but like, we're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna have some fun. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, there's no like cool like story behind it, because like I don't personally have like a connection with any of these people because I'm just a capo and relatively unknown in the community. Well, now not so much, but like when this was all starting, like no one knows who I am, so it's not like I can just like I was telling you earlier, like I was trying to get like some Eagles players, and so it's not like they're like, oh yeah, like I know who this guy. No one knows who I am. But yeah, a lot of it's just luck and people being extremely bored and just wanting something to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, we're going to take advantage of a bad situation. So, maybe some guests I can pull and everything. Maybe not for the podcast and everything. Doesn't matter. But I mean, I think it does come down to people being bored and having nothing better to do. It's like once their day job's over, well, it's time to go home, unwind and everything. And hey, I don't want to watch TV all day and everything. So let me go and talk with some soccer fans where, I'm not reading from a script, where I'm not told what to say and everything. Just let it all out and everything. And like I said earlier, I mean, these guys are really genuine and they open up and they're not going to hold back and they want your opinion. They want to get involved and just hear what you guys want to say. So yeah, just join. Jared posts the link every Wednesday, I think. Well, he doesn't post the link. He says, like this so I can send you the link. And at the end, I'll let you plug all the, social media accounts and everything, your personal and whatnot. But now, unfortunately, the deadline has passed for you guys, but you guys created a Union Zoom happy hour jersey. How did that all come about? That was, and if you guys haven't seen this, you guys missed out on the opportunity. I mean, it's a really, really sweet jersey.
Like, it was just like an idea I had, like, I wanted to do something to like, kind of like once it's all over to like have something to like commemorate this time. Cause like, it's something that a lot of people like look forward to. I mean, like I have like people like messaging me like thank you for doing this. Like it's something that I look forward to like every single week, highlight of my week. And let's like I thought it'd be cool to like have something to remember this once it's all over. Because like while the memories of happy hour will always be there, is like they won't be necessary for us to always like to meet every week on Zoom and hang out, because eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to do this in person. I recently found out about Icarus FC, a Philadelphia company, and if you haven't checked out Icarus, 100% go look at them because their jerseys are absolutely fire. I know I'm plugging them hard right now, but like legit, like they have like some insane jerseys, and they have and Icarus offers like a free mock-up of an idea that you have. So you can literally just be like, hey, this is my idea, blah, 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 whatever, like say everything you want, and they just run with it. So I was like, I know I can do this. So I was like, let me just like, I'll put out a tweet with a poll being like, hey, like if I were to do this, would there be interest in it? And so I think after like a 2-day poll, I had like 24 yeses, 3 maybes, and 1 no. So I was like, that's like some decent support. So I was like, so then I sent out a tweet and I was like, hey, this is something that I kind of want to pursue. Does anybody want to help me like get behind this and like help me with some jersey ideas? And like I tagged a few people, and Paul's the one who inevitably jumped in. So a lot of the credit for the jersey goes to Paul. But so he and I bounced ideas off each other. Eventually we came up with an idea. We sent it to Icarus. And yeah, Robbie just ran with it, created an absolute beauty of a jersey. And yeah, so yeah, like you said, like unfortunately the deadline has passed. I've emailed the spreadsheet, and so hopefully we'll get moving on that soon. He probably won't see it till Monday though, because I sent it in yesterday. Yeah, so originally I was going to do the jersey at cost. There's no reason for me to make a benefit off of this. It's just like, and I know a lot of people are struggling for money right now. So it's like, you know what, like we'll just get like a cheap jersey and maybe like $35 depending on what it is. I don't know how many orders we get, and then like I know Heather originally had like suggested like she said she'd be more interested if like we would donate it to like COVID relief. And I was like, yeah, but like I was like, I don't that might make things more complicated. I don't know, like we'll see. But then it was suggested that we donate to the Philly bail bond. And I was like, you know what? That's actually a really great idea because a lot of people are getting arrested just for peacefully protesting. So we ended up going with that. So like we set the price at $40. And I was like, hey guys, like email, like I created an email address and I was like, you want to get a jersey, email this information to this email and we'll get you set. The response that I got from everybody has been insane. So I'm gonna double check real quick. But once we ended, I had 63 jerseys ordered, which to me is insane. Like I thought we've been lucky to get 25. Like, you know, if we had gotten like 30, I'd be like, hey, great. Like we hit more than I thought, but like people went above and beyond and like just blew me away. I have an order from England. I have an order from Indiana. I have an order from California, South Carolina, where we're sending one to Alexi Lalas. We're sending it to the Cooligans. We're sending it to JD and the Rod. And that just like blows my mind. And I believe if my calculation is correct, our donation to the Philly bail bond should be around $800 or so.
Wow. You guys raised a good amount of money just for something that was started about 2 months ago, I'd say. I think this all came about and everything. So, I mean, to see it blow from 6 people to see, on average, I'd say around 40 to 45 people, to get more people that show up that bought jerseys than, which is just so crazy to me, that more people bought jerseys that actually show up to these Zoom meetings. So, I mean, congrats to all you guys that are getting this chance to have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these jerseys, unless I guess the demand's so much there where you guys go back to Icarus and say, hey, I know you guys did this before to us, and we have so-and-so amount of jerseys. You want to go ahead and make us a second order? I don't know. Maybe that happens, maybe not. But, hey, for all you people that got this is something you can always remember and everything. But now you guys have the story how Jarrett, I almost called Jordan, don't know why, how Jarrett created Zoom Happy Hour with a whole bunch of people involved helping him out and everything. But now let's go ahead and talk about soccer. Soccer is coming back like we know. And if you've been paying attention to the podcast the last couple of weeks, you know I've been getting each person's opinion on the MLS is Back tournament. So Jarrett, are you happy with MLS coming back in this type of format before they start with the regular season after the tournament?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I'm super excited about it because, like, especially because it's the World Cup format. Like, I think that should draw in a lot of interest from the Euro snobs / I only watch the World Cup fans. Yeah, like, again, it's not the World Cup. Like, it's not like on the scale of the World Cup. But I think it's a very interesting format. I don't like that we're in the group of 6 from the sole fact that we have a lower percentage than all the other groups of advancing. But I do know that the union are keeping an eye on that and potentially looking at saying like the top 3 from Group A should go. So there's that. So so for everyone who's concerned about that, it's being looked at and it may be looked at further. I have no inside information on it, but I do know that it's potentially being it's being thought about. But yeah, I think it definitely creates a very interesting situation. It'll be interesting to see the kind of support that comes from it, especially since the NBA won't be back yet. NFL season hasn't started yet. Who knows what's happening with the MLB? They were going to vote on it, but now with the outbreaks in Florida, they're not voting on it today. Yeah, it's like, I mean, NWSL is coming back first, but no, don't forget that NWSL is coming back first. But yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see the kind of from a TV perspective, what kind of numbers they'll get. Because I know the Bundesliga was showing record numbers here in the States. I haven't seen numbers on the Premier League, La Liga, or Serie A, but this is an opportunity that the MLS and Fox and ESPN and I guess Univision cannot mess up. If they want to help be part of helping soccer grow here in the States, they have to absolutely knock this out of the park. And I realize that puts a lot of pressure on them to be hey, if you want to do this, you got to be successful. But this is a situation that we've never been in before. We have a style of play that we've never experienced before, but I think it's a great way to introduce people to the league, because I think there's going to be I'm pretty sure there's going to be a game most every day. There's going to be several games every day. And it's just what better way to get introduced into the league than just having an overflow of games like that? I think that's part of what makes the World Cup so exciting. It's just like for like 2 weeks or so, it's just nonstop games. It has potential to be such a great thing, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they somehow find a way to bottle it. But I hope that doesn't happen. But I'm very, very excited for it, and I hope that all the things are in place to keep everybody safe, because I won't badmouth any Floridians, but
yeah, I wouldn't put it past MLS to not bottle this either, because what is MLS without bottling something? But I'm going to give you guys a lot of information real quick, so bear with me in case you guys aren't paying attention. These are just the details we know of the tournament. There will be 6 groups. Each group will have 4 teams, with one group having 6, so we know the Union are in that 6th group. I'll go over who they're playing and everything, in case you guys don't know. Each team will play 3 group stage matches over the course of 16 consecutive days. The top 2 teams from each group, along with the 4 best third-place finishers, will move on to the knockout stage, beginning with the round of 16 after the group stages. If 2 or more teams are tied on points in the group stage, MLS regular season tie-breaking procedures are used. So I had to look up what all that is and everything. So it goes by the total number of wins, then the goal differential, then the goals for, fewest yellow cards and red cards, away goals for, home goals, so all that jazz and everything. I'm not going to go down to everything else, because I seriously doubt that it's going to go down to like the 10th, the 11th rule for tie-breaking and everything. But
don't forget the coin toss.
Yeah, I think that's actually the last one. Yeah, the coin toss.
Yep.
If the shit. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that. I mean, oh man, crazy. But so the tie-breaking for the 4 third place clubs are 1 point for 1 points, 2 for goal differential, 3 goals scored, and then 4, which is the lowest yellow cards and red cards and everything like that. Then after the group stage and everything, after if clubs are tied and everything, then the knockout round starts. And if the game ties at the end of regulation, then they'll go straight into penalty kicks, which I'm looking forward to, because I know with the World Cup, you play 2 2 mini times. So I think it's 30
minutes. 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15, I think, right?
Two 15-minute halves.
Yeah, and then it goes on penalty kicks. But nope, once the end of regular time, it goes straight to penalty kicks, so that could be definitely interesting. And the winner of this tournament, they get a CONCACAF's Champions League spot. And I know I said on the podcast before, then the club gets $1 million. So I looked into this a little bit more. It's actually players that will earn additional bonuses. So it's not the club. So it's giving the players motivation. The club as a whole has a motivation. Okay, guys, play good, because we can play in the Champions League next year. But now, hey, players, look, you can earn even more money. You guys had to take a pay cut, but you guys could earn back some of that money if you win this whole tournament. So, and then I'm really looking forward to this. Key dates, June 24th is when teams are going to start arriving down in Florida. So this week, we'll see teams heading down to Florida. July 8th, MLS's back tournament group stages begin. July 25th through 28th, the round of 16 begins. July 30th through August 1st, the quarterfinals go on then. August 5th through 6th, the tournament semifinals go on. And then August 11th is when the final for this tournament is. Whew, that's a lot of information, guys. Hope you guys don't mind me giving you all that information. But like Jarrett said earlier, and I said, the Union, they've been drawn into Group A with Orlando, Chicago, Inter Miami, New York City, and Nashville. And I know last week Jim Curtin said in a press conference that the Union will play Nashville on July 9th. So we know that games will be played at 9 a.m., 8 p.m., and 10:30 p.m. at night and everything. Or maybe it's 8:30 p.m. and then 10 p.m. I'm not too wild about the time slots and everything. I know Jack Elliott, I think, went on with reporters and said, yeah, he's fine with, the tournament details and everything, but it's like the time's weird and everything. But, when you're hosting a tournament down in Orlando in the middle of the summertime, you're not going to want to be playing in the dead heat and everything. So you're going to play it at times when the sun's still coming up or by the time the sun's down and everything. But how do you think the Union are going to do in Group A, Jared, with them having to play Nashville, New York City, and Inter?
Well, first off, so we actually found out that we don't actually know the first opponent. We don't know the order yet. Jim Curtin did say that, but I forget if it was on the Zoom call or on SOB the pod where like someone said like actually like nothing's been confirmed yet. They're still figuring out the schedule aside from Orlando and Inter.
It's probably Jonathan who said it.
Yeah, probably. But I'd be lying if I wouldn't say I'm nervous about like who we're playing, and I think that's solely because. One, we're playing NYCFC or NYUFU, and we know we struggle against them in the past, whether it's home and away, but we aren't playing them on a baseball field, which is a plus. But we literally know nothing about Nashville or Miami. We have Jim said I was on when did I hear that? But like I forget where I heard it, but like they do have film on both teams. Nashville, he said that Nashville was one of the teams that they watched film on like when this first started, and like it was one of their sessions that they did that they watched them. So like I have some confidence in that. Miami, again, like we know nothing about them.
And minus playing them in the preseason.
Oh, right. But the one solace I have from all this is that nobody in our group of the two games that we played has won. So like I'm pretty sure like we have like the lowest like standings in the league as of right now. So that's like a positive. But I know Inter's first game was against LAFC, which I mean, if you're at or at least one of the first games against LAFC.
Yeah, it was the first game.
Like as an expansion club, your first game against LAFC, like you're gonna get trounced. Like I'm sorry, like it's just gonna happen. Doesn't matter who you are. And I don't remember who their second game was against, and I don't remember the score. It's gonna be very interesting. I would be shocked if we didn't beat Nashville. I think they're a team that we should beat. I have a feeling like I think getting a draw against NYCFC would be a positive. Like obviously I want them to win all three games and just like put any doubt to bed, just go out and win it. Obviously like finishing 1 or 2 is what we need, but like I think winning the group is definitely attainable, but I think getting second is realistic.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and especially like you said earlier and everything. I mean, having 6 teams and everything, the odds are against us. So I'll link the Yahoo article that I read and everything, but basically it said Group A is so problematic where they're sent 33% or 50% of its teams to the knockout stages. Every other group was sent between 50% and 75%. Like looking at that number right there, you're like, yeah, how is this fine? How is this okay? Why not have 3 people in Group A advance, so first, second, and third and everything, as opposed to just a 2 in Group A and everything, then it's just the best third place and everything. But I don't know. Like you said earlier, maybe they're looking into this and everything. I know you said you heard them say that this is going to get looked at and everything. But, you know, it is MLS and everything. Maybe this is what they bottled the whole tournament off. Like, nope, this is set in stone. We're not going to fix it at all. I have yet to give my predictions yet. I've seen a lot of people say they think Inter and Philadelphia Union are going to get out of this. It doesn't matter where you place them and everything. I've saw a couple people say New York City, which is surprising. But I guess, you know, they have a new coaching staff this year. They play 2 games like all of us and everything. So these guys haven't really gelled under a new formation and everything, new coaching staff, the way they want to play and everything. So that's helping us. Then you have the 2 expansion teams where these guys aren't used to playing with each other yet. So maybe the Union can come in first. I mean, they should get out of the group this because they've been playing together for a lot longer than some of the teams in their group and everything. They know how to play and everything. And quite frankly, they played a really good game against LAFC, but none of that stuff matters, honestly. You know, those games were, again, 2-3 months ago and everything. It doesn't matter what you did then because everybody's going to be starting slow and everything just because they haven't been playing soccer in so long and everything. I do think the Union are going to get out, whether it's 1 or 2, who knows and everything, but I'm not going to hold my breath on MLS to say, hey, you know what? Somebody can come in third and still get out of this group because honestly, I mean, it's MLS. I don't think it's going to happen. But thank you so much, though, for coming onto the podcast and everything. I had a blast talking to you, finally making your debut on the podcast. But like I said earlier, why don't you go ahead and plug everything that you want to plug, where people can find you, the Union Zoom Happy Hour on social media and all that jazz.
Yeah, so first and foremost, like it doesn't matter if you're a Union fan or not. Like we welcome anybody to the happy hours. We just ask that you be respectful and don't treat it like an interview when we have guests on. But you can find the happy hour account at Our Union, HOUR Union. I post the link I don't post a link. I send out a tweet saying, like this tweet, and I'll send you a link around 10 a.m. every Wednesday. Calls are 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. My personal account is at NISDOG, NISDOG. Basically just like talk sports related stuff. Yeah. If you want to see some of my stuff from Europe, you can go on my Instagram. It's also NISDOG. Also post like some game day stuff every now and then. But yeah, find me on Facebook, Jared Nisly, NISLY.
And you forgot the most important thing, Jared. Don't forget to check out Jared streaming Sunderland Till I Die Part 3, I think. So he's continuing from the movie and everything. TV show from Netflix and everything. I think you've made a couple of moves.
Part 9 is next.
Yeah, and so it's tough for you, Jared. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, with not having a great budget and everything, you can't really make impactful substitutions and everything. So if you guys are into watching people play FIFA and everything, if you're into Twitch and everything, definitely go ahead and check out Jared. I forgot your name on Twitch and everything, but I'm sure you post it on your Twitter and everything so people can find it there.
Yeah, it's twitch.tv /NISDOG18. But yeah, so I pretty much stream every Friday morning, Friday afternoon, starting around noon, and going till about 3 o'clock when the Friday afternoon soccer games start. But yeah, we did sign our super sub, so we have El Sino on the squad. So yeah. So if you want to see El Sino play in Europe, I'm the place to come see that happen.
Absolutely. Check it out. And if you guys aren't following the Facebook page, Instagram page, or the Twitter, or just following on social media in general, you can find the podcast at Free Kick Pod. Check out the website, thefreekickpodcast.com, where I will post articles every once in a while, when I feel like writing something. And I post all the podcast episodes on there. If you guys don't follow the podcast on iTunes, Google, or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, by searching that Free Kick Podcast, searching Todd Lewis if that doesn't come up. And like I said, thank you so much, Jared, for coming on. Had a blast, getting an insight how you got involved with Sons of Ben, hearing about how Union Zoom Hour started, and just getting your thoughts on the MLS is back tournament. I mean, it's been a blast and everything, and I know we'll have you back on the podcast in due time.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It was a good time. Feels good to be able to talk about sports, since I don't always get to talk on the happy hour.
Hey, I hear that. I definitely hear that. So no better way to go off than that. So with that said, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.